Welcome to my 1111 series where I'm recording 11 channeled messages over 11 days from the 11 oracles of the rose line, and I'm recording these between the 1st of November and the 11th of November in 2024. Now we are on day 2. It is the 2nd of November. About 12 hours ago we had the new moon in Scorpio, so still very much in the new moon energy. If you haven't watched the first video, don't worry. This is not sequential. You can watch whichever videos draw you. You can watch this one and then go back to the first one. So there's no order, except that in the first one I do give a little bit more of an explanation. Whereas today I'm just going to dive straight in. So today's oracle is a being who came to me probably around 2005 when I was collating the roseline beings who were wanting me to write their story. And this was some writing I did. It was never published and it doesn't feel appropriate to publish at this time, but at the time it was really helpful for me in understanding their energy and activating their energy. And so this being is Galadriel. Now, when she came to me, it took me a little while to get her name. I got the G and then I was hearing, I just couldn't quite get it. And I mean, I can't remember now how long it took me, but it took me a little while. And when her name finally came through, when I finally received it, I was like, that's a really familiar name. I'm not sure where I know that name from. And of course, it later hit me that it is Galadriel, as the queen, the Elven Queen in Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. So it's very interesting that her frequency of energy came through to him and she came through to me, although she introduces herself to me as the Queen of the Elementals. But a similar energy to, if you're reading Lord of the Rings and the way that Galadriel is portrayed, she does have a similar energy when she comes through to me. So this morning, as I tuned into her energy, I was just sort of asking, opening to what she wanted to talk about. And she was very clear. She wanted to talk about manifesting, or what I like to call creating now. Manifesting is loaded with so many expectations, I think, and a little bit distorted. And actually what you are doing is creating. And you are a creator, you are creating. And her energy came through because it is the new moon. And one thing that we tend to do around the new moon time is to write or think about or meditate upon our intentions. Now that's another word I'm not so willing to use these days. And it's simply because to intend something is to put it into the future. And as we all know from Manifesting 101, is that when you speak or think or be with an idea that you wish to create, is that you bring it into the present. Into the present, whereas intending is putting it there. I intend to, or I intend that this happens. So again, I like the word creating because it means you're doing it now. It's in the present. So when Galadriel shared with me that this is what today's channeling would be about, she showed me the difference between manifesting or creating from a 3D frequency and creating from a new earth frequency. And they're two very different things. And she also showed me choices I've made more recently in my life and how this has been a preparation for me to make this change. So this video, the name that came through was to receive an upgrade to your manifesting ability. And when she showed me how it's reflected in my life at the moment, I got a deeper understanding of what the channeling will be about. So just very quickly to give you an update on where I'm at, when I finished traveling in Europe for 4 months and I came back to Australia, I decided I didn't want to settle in one place. I wanted to keep the energy moving. I wanted to go where I was called to go. And so I chose to move out of a place that I had been renting for a couple of years and house sit or pet sit instead, which meant that I'm continually moving. And as part of that, even though I hadn't accumulated a lot of things because I'd moved out of a bigger space a couple of years before that, but it required a lot of shedding again. So I had to shed almost everything. All that I was really able to keep was what would fit in my car and a few tubs of good things like photo albums that you could never throw out, which went to a friend's place. So I've done a major clearing, which has cleared my energy field, and it's enabled me to be more mobile, to go where I'm called. So it's a simplification. And I think generally people are getting called to simplify. I'm hearing it more and more from my clients, from friends. People are really wanting to downsize and downsize away from the stuff. And this is where it links in with today's channeling, because we have come from a society and a belief system that has programmed us to want more. Okay, right now we have this car, but let's strive for a better car, and we have a house with 3 bedrooms. Let's go for a house with 5 bedrooms. It's this continual upgrade of physical possessions. Now, as we move away from that belief system, as we move out of Pisces and into Aquarius, as this whole age changes the way we view the world, our belief systems are just crumbling around us because they're no longer relevant to this age we're moving into, which is going to be the age that sees the creation of new Earth. As this happens, we are not going to be as focused on creating material things in our life. And so this is what's going to come through in the channeling. I won't go into it too much now because I'd rather have her speaking it than my interpretation of what she showed me this morning. But that's just to give you a little foundation of what this channeling is about. So let me just see if there's anything else for me to speak before we go into the channeling. No, but I just got a prompt to show you a card. I actually drew a card from the Sacred Earth Oracle deck. And I did draw cards yesterday, but I didn't feel to share them. But this one so strongly holds Galadriel's energy. And the card is Clarity. Such a beautiful embodiment of her energy as Queen of the Elementals. But also this word clarity is very important. This will come through in the channeling. Okay. So probably best if you can to close your eyes so that you can receive this frequency of the channeling more fully, being aware that at the time of recording this, I'm still within just 12 hours or so of the new moon energy. So very much in that point where the light is just starting to be shown, the light of the moon, of the new beginnings, a time when the creation energies are still very strong. So calling in Galadriel now. My family of the rose, I am aware that for some time on your planet, those on the journey of what has been called awakening, or your spiritual journey, a journey where your consciousness is expanding as you see the old belief systems for what they were and choose to step away. Many of you have been practicing the art of manifesting. And as you may know, in the elemental realm, this is a natural way of being. This is why the fairy kingdom have often been associated with wishes. Our oneness with nature, because we did not choose to break away in the way that humans did, means that we can create powerfully with the energies of nature. And so on your journey to remember what manifestation is, very often you may have begun with manifesting a certain amount of money in your bank account, a certain job, a certain house you may wish to buy. And I say to you now that this has all been practice. This has been practicing from the 3D consciousness and within the 3D world. It has been helpful. You have learned about being in alignment with what you are creating, and that when you are out of alignment, it rarely comes into being, and certainly not in a way that you would expect. You may have also learned that rarely does it come in the way that you expected, but through a different path. And this may have taught you to be more open in your expectation of receiving your desires. So you have been practicing. And the reason you have been practicing is to gain clarity. Or should I say that while you have been practicing, you have also been gaining clarity. Clarity on who you are. Clarity on the gifts you bring. Clarity on what fills your soul with joy. Clarity on how you serve others. Clarity on what you truly desire on your path. And as you have gained this clarity on one side and practice your manifesting or setting your new moon intentions on the other path, they have been separate. But now, with the frequency of the planet changing, moving through this portal of 1111, and with your frequency changing, these two are coming together. And as you bring this clarity into your creating, which means as you move into more alignment with what you are creating, you will discover that what you are creating tends to be less and less about material things or things that will support you in the physical plane. You will find that you have no desire to create in this way because you have moved into full trust that everything you need will come to you. And as you embody this trust, your energy of creation becomes about your path. How can I be supported in this path of service? And so what you call in will be to support your evolution, your personal evolution, and how that personal evolution can support humanity and Mother Earth herself. Your desire for the material will drop away. However, you will find that as your creating ability moves more and more into alignment with self, if there is a particular material item required to support you on that journey, it will appear. This is not about deprivation. This is about abundance, but it is about aligned abundance. In the elemental realm, we do not call in what is unnecessary. We call in and create what is our support to be in more joy, to be in more abundance, in a way which is honoring of Mother Earth herself, in a way that reflects Mother Earth herself. We do not call in excess. We know that excess is there if required. But we simply create what is required. And so all our needs are met within that. This is the new earth frequency. And this is what you are co-creating. But it is not an external co-creation. It is an internal creation. You are internally creating the frequency. And then you attract others like you, and the co-creation happens as a consequence of that. But as always, it begins within. What are you creating within you? How are you creating the new earth frequency within you? Through the simple choices you're making, the content you're consuming, the people in your circle, the way you speak to yourself and to others, the love and connection you share with Mother Earth and her creatures and plants. All of this reflects your internal state. And when you nurture that creator within you, new earth is created within you. And you begin to see this reflected externally. This is such an exciting time for you to be here. Feel that excitement. Bring that excitement into your creation. Bring your creation into alignment with the new earth frequency. And so it is. Unide saka nesiso, hachen nole apiendi kiaran, haren dustisenia tu, kistoya, kahanute, sude kian, yo kale, tuka. So that is Galadriel's message for you today. I'll see you tomorrow with our next video from one of the Roseline Oracles.